Now, work is continuing on a new Greyhound Stadium in Limerick, which is due to open later this year. The new track on the Dock Road will also house the headquarters of the Irish Greyhound Board. This year's Irish St Leger has been switched from its traditional summer slot to allow it to take place at the new venue. And Pádraig Lodge has been to Limerick to find out more.
We're going to be bringing greyhound racing out to the site where the Pope visited. JFK was greeted there by the city fathers back in the 60s. It's where John Tracy won his cross-country world championship.
And what a great day for this runner, a magnificent day for Villierstown and Waterford.
And of course there was horse racing out there for a number of years, so we're leaving one site with historical significance and moving to another and adding our own flavour to it now from now on.
The Irish Greyhound Board's head of marketing, Orla Strumble, outlining the exciting plans for greyhound racing in Limerick. The move brings to an end the sport's long-running association with the historic Markets Field, which hosted the Irish Derby in 1939 and where, in 2007, Catunda Harry became the first dog in Ireland to break the 28-second barrier for the 5.25 yards distance during the heats of the Irish St Leger. But greyhound racing wasn't the only sport to take place there.
It was the first home of Munster Rugby. I don't know if it's well known out there. Limerick Soccer played there for a number of years until the 90s. There was even cycling there in the 1920s. We here at the Irish Greyhound Board have decided to compile all this history into one as part of our submission for the Sporting Heritage project that's been taking place at the moment by Boston College. This has been spearheaded by Professor Mike Cronin and Dr. Roisin Higgins, and they are compiling sporting heritage of all sports across the country. So this is going to be our submission to it for future generations.
Danny Lean from Ardfert in County Kerry is the site manager for John J. Casey Project Management.
The roof is up at the moment. You can see we're forming the terraces within the stand. The glazing, which is the plain of glazing, will be installed in the next 8 weeks, and the terracing then will follow. The external terracing will follow in the next 12 to 16 weeks.
So how do you see the time scale now in the coming months? There's a fair bit of work still to be done, isn't there?
Yes, Pádraig, there is. The track will be due to start in the next 4 weeks and completed 6 weeks prior to the completion of the overall project for dog trials. And the building will be finished in mid-October of this year.
How many staff would you have involved in this project?
At the moment, there's been 170 people are working on the site, and by the end of the project, there will be an approximate total of 300 people would have worked on the site, which obviously creating employment when there's very few jobs in the construction industry.
The Chief Executive of the Irish Greyhound Board, Adrian Nealon, admits that this will be the last of the state-of-the-art greyhound stadiums that have been built during the Celtic Tiger era.
It's clear that nothing of this ilk will probably start again for quite some time, but we have to be positive. Things will pick up the country. That's what we're positive about our industry, and there's no doubt that everybody else takes the same view that we can come out of the cycle that we're going through at the moment. That's what it is. It is a cycle, and hopefully there'll be an upward curve soon.
You've put the naming rights for the new stadium out to tender. What was the thinking behind that?
Certainly, I suppose, a new approach that we haven't considered before in the greyhound industry. I mean, look around, look at the size of the stadium now. We felt that this is something that brands would want to be exposed to. We got an awful lot of interest from people. We're now going to sit down with some of those parties and to pick the best person. Clearly, given what we have going on here, given the long-term future, we're not going to give this away too cheaply. We want the best price. We got a great value proposition here.
Activity at the new facility will not be restricted to greyhound racing. Karen Brosnahan is the Business Development Manager for the Shannon Region Conference and Sports Bureau.
My role for the region is to go out and find conferences, incentive and sports events, and obviously it'll be a sports facility in its own right with greyhound racing, but also there are lots of other opportunities around it in terms of events that are already coming to the region for off-site nights, gala dinners, but also as a standalone facility and what it can deliver when there isn't greyhound racing happening here. So it's very exciting for the region. Generally speaking, a conference delegate that comes to a region spends on average about €1,500, and that covers things like a night at the dogs, gift shopping, going to see a show, basically whatever they'll engage in while they're here for an event. So the spin-off from any kind of a new facility is immense in terms of the revenue it can generate locally, and that's what we'll be out pushing, is all these extra things that people can do and see while they're in the region. It's fantastic to have a new facility, like a brand new product to be able to go to the market with, and people can have their dining and watch the racing at the same time. So it's an extra added advantage for us when we're out in the market selling.
While looking forward to the move, local greyhound owner Bob Shanahan is sad to leave the Markets Field.
It had actually the greatest racing circuit. For a dog owner, if he had a good dog and he didn't race in Limerick, he wouldn't race anywhere.
Was there a sense maybe that while the tracks were being developed in Dublin and Cork and say Galway, that the Midwest was losing out?
Well, that was our way. We were promised so many times, people actually from here were going to Cork, they were going to Limerick and they were going to Galway, for the facilities. At the Ledger there was obviously somebody from the Galway. The mother asked the child about 10, would you like it here or in Galway, and he says, "Get real, ma'am."
We're here on the racing surface where they're just putting the finishing touches to the track. Are you happy enough with what you're hearing about how the track is taking shape?
Oh yeah, it's just fantastic. You know, the work in progress and so on. And I think it will probably be, well, we're here and it'll probably open in September. I would have a run into the ledger. You know, I can have it. It has wide scopes. You know, which will lead to less injuries from the greyhound business. You know, we're looking forward to it. You know, delighted to eventually get here.
That's Bob Shanahan, the Greyhound owner, ending that report from Limerick by Porrick Lodge.